Sifu Loren will now demonstrate the Yang sword theory in exercise. Many types of sword material can be used: wood, metal, aluminum. This particular sword is a gem, which is tempered, coming from the 7 wells in China. It is important to know how to hold the sword. The hand, or the finger, the forefinger should be up close to the guard. It closes slowly. So the last finger to close is the forefinger, thumb always going over the forefinger. In all the moves, the thumb will be locked on top of the forefinger. The opposite hand will be in a sword hand, a double-edged sword hand, just like your gem. If an open hand would be used for like a broadsword. The key of the wrists are important. As Sifu Loren was demonstrating, not to have angled on wrists. Sifu Loren is now demonstrating a wrist exercise to get the wrist to be fluid. Throwing the sword from the waist, running through the ground, not the arm. The arm does not make the sword move. It is relayed from the ground through the waist, out through the wrist. These are also blocking patterns. Then for stretching and balance, Sifu Loren throws the leg and blocks on the opposite side. It's also for center and balance, stretching, getting the joints used to the circular motion. The next one is more of a stretch, twisting the torso. Also aligning the sword so you focus down the sword tip. Very good for the spine. This next one is a focus drill, a very important drill when you're first learning sword play. Sifu Loren is going to demonstrate 4 different methods of learning to focus your energy through the sword out at an object. One of the best objects would be something that is living, like a knot in a tree, a flower, a particular branch, a leaf. In this instance, he's going to use a pole with a target at it so that the camera can see it. But normally it is used like a knot in a tree. This is coming right from his center line now. Slight circle to the thrust. Coming right from the center line. This teaches you to align your energy out through the sword. This time he is making a pyramid type of motion. Notice though that the tip of the sword does not leave the target or the opponent. Now both arms are bringing it up through the center from the Tontin area, focusing the energy, breathing out as the sword goes out, breathing in as the sword comes in. So it's very important to coordinate the breath with the thrust of the sword. All the movement is done from the feet through the waist. No movement would be done through the arms. Now Sifu Loren is going to do basically the same thing, but in a walking exercise. Coming up from the center, pulling back, blocking in a pyramid fashion, and taking a step forward and thrusting. Being sure to align his energy out through the tip of the sword, thinking of the energy pathways running through it. It is important for the mental attitude in order to gain the energy levels that the sword can give you. The next demonstration will be the actual Yang sword form. All the principles in the Tai Chi solo forms are inherent in the sword forms. There's no difference other than the extension of energy out through the sword. All the moves are also self-defense moves. All the moves are being centered as in the solo form also. You notice Sifu Loren is cutting with the edge all the time. At sometimes the sword uses the weapon with the hilt. And you'll notice at certain times there'll be spots where he actually strikes with the hilt, as in this next move. Striking with the hilt and then striking as the person drops. The sword forms can be done at any speed, slow or medium or even fast. This would be considered just a little bit below a medium speed. Notice how he keeps the tip of the sword on the opponent. Never allowing the tip to wander. This keeps the energy in alignment with the opponent. striking with the hilt and then the blade, the edge. And notice he's going to block now right next to his leg as he brings the sword through. And cutting about knee height. Striking with the hilt, then the blade. Still keeping the tip of the sword on the opponent. Sword has just as if there's a string attached to the tip pulling all the time in the direction that you're going. Now, Sifu Loren is always cutting. This is a figure 8 motion. And the conclusion of the Yang sword form. He'll choose a few applications to demonstrate some of the concepts behind the form movement. First he'll do the initial part of the form, and then he'll do it with Sifu Jerry Weldon. Striking at the legs, blocking and striking the arms, striking the knees again, blocking the sword, and striking to the abdomen area. Blocking and kicking. Striking with the hilt to opponent behind him. He drops under Jerry's sword, blocks, yields with it, and strikes with his kick. The alignment of the sword in the pyramid is what would be considered the ward-off energy alignment, or sometimes 7-star posture. Notice how the sword sticks to Jerry's sword, blocking and reversing. Yielding with it and cutting at the legs, yielding and cutting. each time going with the sword, sticking and finally catching the person.